And welcome to Dare to Disagree, your weekly episodic podcast where we talk about everything. I'll be your host today, Jonathan Nestor, out of California as usual.
This is Alone in the Dark and beautiful, wonderful Colorado.
Puppet Master, you there? Man, just like that. All right.
I bet you he muted himself when he turned off his fucking video. That's what happened.
Could be. Could be. Well, guys, Puppet Master is on the line too. Once he figures himself out, he'll be back on with us. But that's everybody for the show today. We're gonna go ahead and get over this whole cop choking incident. Letting off the police officer. I mean, we've done this thing to death from every angle of every kind of.
He's coming back.
Yeah. From every angle of every single perspective on this thing. From the police officer's angle, from the random woman's, the tripping, pregnant woman angle. It's all been done. It's been done to death. But we're gonna go ahead and knock this out quickly so we can move on.
Okay, here's a couple pointers I want to hit that people seem to be misunderstanding, and it's kind of the part of them believing people without a fucking medical degree, which I do not have one, which is why I listen to the people with medical degrees. Okay, number one, they're saying this guy was, all the fucking police unit people are saying this guy died because he was fat. That is a contributing factor, and probably one of the bigger ones, but the biggest one is a pile of fucking guys on his back strangling him to death. Okay, that is what caused it, okay? That's the actual thing. People are saying he went into cardiac arrest, so you can't get that from strangling. Bullshit, yes you can. This is exactly what the fucking coroner said. You can go into cardiac arrest. The ways you die from strangulation are actually kind of, various. There's different ways you can go. You could just go simply down because of air, or you could do like happened to an employee of mine. You can get choked, you could regain breathing, which is what you hear everybody say. He was breathing when he was in the ambulance, but it's already too late. Your system's fucked, your brain dead, and now your body's just in fucking shutdown. That's what happened to that guy. Yeah, when he got into the ambulance, once there were not a pile of motherfuckers on his back, he was breathing, but he was already dead. They choked him until he had fucking died. His body was doing his evolutionary response trying to pump air. His heart finally fucking ceased. Okay? Now, another thing people are saying is we don't know if he was really choking him or if he was just putting this, I forgot the acronym for the headlock. The thing is, number one, the coroner said yes, he was choking him, okay, which is banned by New York Police Department. Number two, he didn't even need to be fucking choked. Those pile of guys could have killed him by themselves. Dave, I don't think you were there when this shit happened, but were you there when we freaking detained this ridiculously fat freaking sheik?
Go on. I don't think so. The only fat guy we ever detained was he even fat? Was the one-armed wonder fat?
No. He's
one-armed fat wonder was just one arm. Gotcha. That was a fun experience. But go ahead.
What happened? I don't think you were there. I don't remember who was with me, and it really wasn't even something I remembered until this came up. But we detained this fucking sheik, and he was a big old fat guy, as sheiks are known to be. Okay, being fat's kind of like a status symbol for those guys, right? But he was bigger than your average. Usually those guys have a pot belly. This guy was fucking obese by American standards, okay? Now, what happened, I can't remember. I think we were putting them all in the freaking vehicle. As he was getting in the vehicle, he laid out on the floor, and we were moving some more people, so whatever. We'll just fucking leave that guy there. His arms zippy tied behind his back. He had the blindfold thing on. He was laying on the floor of the truck as we were pulling some more people in, not really worrying about it, right? Whatever, this guy's not going to fucking run fast, no big deal. As we were moving people, I noticed this guy's fucking chest heaving, and he was fucking wheezing. And so I'm like, what the fuck is this guy's problem, you know? That guy was so fat, just laying on the ground without his arms supporting him, he was starting to run out of fucking air. Okay? Now, me and whoever was with me, it might have been fucking four beer that people did. We ran over, grabbed that guy, lifted him up, and sat him up so he could breathe, and he was fucking turning colors. I mean, his fucking face was beat red. He was panting for air, saying some shit in there we couldn't fucking understand. We didn't have a translator at the time. But that motherfucker could easily have died if all I had to do was put my fucking knee in the middle of his back, and he would have fucking died right there. That's all it would have taken. It's just me fucking whatever. Let me just hold you down a little bit, guy. He would have fucking suffocated to death right there on the fucking bottom of the truck. That's pretty much what happened to fucking Garner there. He was freaking overweight. Yeah, I mean, that's his own goddamn fault. Whatever. Bunch of people piled on his back and did not let him up as he's fucking panting for air, cannot fucking breathe, and he fucking died from that. That's all it fucking took. Now people are saying, but he was saying I can't breathe. You have to be able to breathe to freaking say you can't breathe. That's not fucking true, and if you want to practice this at home, it's pretty simple. All you have to do is push all the air out of your lungs, just breathe out until you can't breathe out anymore, and try and talk. You can still fucking talk because you're running on your fucking emergency air that you cannot survive on. Your freaking lungs are going to start filling with carbon dioxide and you'll pass out if you keep doing that shit. Go ahead and fucking try that shit at home. Breathe all the way out you can, try and talk. You're going to talk, you're going to sound like shit, kind of like Eric Gardner did while he was being fucking piled on, and then you're going to fucking pass out if you keep doing it.
Hell, we used to do that fun little experiment where, remember the thing where they make you hold up against the wall, you breathe 10 times real deep, and all it took was someone pushing on your chest for you to completely pass out.
One person.
Yeah, one person. I remember that experiment because I remember calling bullshit on it and quickly being proven wrong.
Exactly.
So, I mean, it's not that hard to really suffocate an individual given the right circumstances.
Now, this goes back to the original issue of, okay, Michael Brown, that was obviously a playful fucking case, and in the end, I think that kid fucking deserved it, okay? I think he attacked that cop. I think that cop had good reason to fear for his life, so I think he fucking had every right to shoot that guy, right? On this one, there is no fucking possible way, but we had the same outcome. The fucking cops walked. All 5 of them. He performed a fucking, I'm not illegal, a banned chokehold that NYPD of all fucking police forces said, don't do this because it might kill somebody. He did that. They piled on top of him. Then they provided no freaking medical assistance to this guy. They didn't even let the EMT provide any medical assistance. Those motherfuckers got suspended for that. And they just let this guy die on the fucking road. This is why we were talking before, why the Ferguson protesters didn't wait for the evidence to come out and didn't really care what it said, because no matter what, the cop was going to walk. Yeah, it turned out he was justified, but it didn't fucking matter. Kill somebody, you're a cop, they're going to let you get away with it. The cop union's going to support you, the police department's going to support you, everybody, the DA's going to support you, who's the only one who can provide evidence to get you charged. And in case people think, somebody said, oh, you think it's some conspiracy with the DA, I'm not the only one who thinks that shit. The fucking Attorney General of New York wants to become a special prosecutor because he thinks there's a problem with the DAs too. He thinks that there's in bed with the fucking police department, so they need you keep hearing people complain about that. We need special prosecutors for this. Yes, this is why, because the DA is, by nature of their business, very close to the police department, and they don't want to fucking be the one who's the bad guy who put their friends in jail. So it's just more of the fucking same that we've had this whole goddamn time, you know?
Look, man. There was who was the comedian who said that? It was Cat Williams. Cat Williams said one hilarious thing. Now, when he was talking about it, he was talking about Michael Jackson and the whole pedophile situation. And Cat Williams said as a joke, don't nobody say the same shit about you for 20 years in a row. Nobody. Not even the person that hates you the most, if it's not true. Nobody says the same shit for 20 years in a row if it's not true. At some point, you get tired of the lie, or you just get exhausted saying the lie. But nobody says the same lie for 20 years just to be proven right. They've been making hip-hop cop songs for fucking years. For years. This is not a new thing. This is not a sudden thing. This is not a strange thing to African Americans. This is kind of like when white people really started getting to understand gangs. When Crips and Bloods, the word came out, and most white people started kind of getting an idea of what being in a gang was like, thanks to like movies like Juice and all the other movies that came out back then, the gangster movies, American Gangster, stuff like that. It's the same thing. It's just the rest of the population getting an insight to what minorities suffer quite often. Now, most of the time, you're right. They are deserving of it. But here's the problem. And this is not a defense for minorities. The problem is just, after a while, if you feel like you don't have a shot in the game anyway, why fucking care if you fuck it up? You know, if you feel like I'm never gonna, I mean, when I meet my friends in the hood, when I meet people in the hood, I should say, that's like one of the number one things. Is like, man, these white people aren't gonna give us a chance, and I'm like, no, that's a fucking dumbass way to look at life. You're wrong. But when you see shit like this, which this is not, again, this is just one story in a million. I don't know why this story of all stories took over, but I could go to Baltimore and I could tell you just within the last week at least 6 or 7 stories that match the one you just said. And those cops don't get in trouble. So for me, the biggest horror, and I'm pretty sure this is kind of the same horror minorities see, the biggest horror is to see something this blatant and see people try to defend it. That is a terrifying view for minorities. A terrifying view. Because to them it's like, okay, they don't care about the Trayvon Martins. We understand. You can argue he was being aggressive. They don't care about the other guy. We understand. We can argue that he was being aggressive. But this is clearly a situation where that guy was wrong. And there's still 1 or 2 people in the crowd going, man, I don't buy it. Those niggers deserved it.
And it's funny that we talked one time. We talked one time. I don't remember if you were. I think we were at Dana Point surfing, and some freaking old white woman fucking scurried away from you, right?
Yeah,
We
yeah.
talked about it one time, like, can we, if this lady has a reason, can we really hold her accountable? Okay, let's say the most dangerous people around her, she can say is, or the more dangerous people are black men, larger black men. Let's say she's from LA, we're close to LA. He might have a reason to say, man, black guys are scary. I'm not gonna fucking, ruin this guy's job or try, but I'm gonna watch my back and get the fuck away.
Yeah.
Even if that is still racism, I can understand it.
I would accept that, yeah.
However, I've seen cops who have little to no interaction with black people jump all the fuck over them. You, for instance, Dave, when in all actuality they should have been worried about me.
Yeah.
They're chasing your ass down. Right?
Did I ever tell you what I used to do in high school?
Maybe what?
There was a 7-Eleven down the block from my high school, which is actually one of the funny things about working in retail now, because I get to see kids do it the dumb way. But there was a 7-Eleven a couple of blocks from my high school, and I was one of the ones fortunate enough to go to a predominantly white private school. So what we would do, me and like one of the 10 black people in the school, we would sag our pants, unbutton our shirts, wear our backpacks, and walk through that 7-Eleven looking super suspicious. We'd like finger the Chex Mix while looking over the counter right back at the register, so that Arab dude, yes, Arab dude, had his eyes right on us the whole time. Meanwhile, our clean-cut, well-dressed, properly and civilly executing white guy would come through and clean that joint, and we would split the stuff outside. Which was a beautiful way to use the prejudice. Like, okay, that's a prejudice that worked in my favor.
Yeah.
And I know how to use my prejudice like that. One of the things I boasted about it recently, which is I'm not too proud of, but I'm still proud of, was me getting away from that reckless driving ticket.
Yeah.
Now for those who don't know, I recently almost got a ticket for reckless driving. I think it was a kind of a nonsense ticket. I was rushing through a parking lot of a closed store to go pick someone up, but I was going pretty fast through that parking lot, and a cop just seemed to catch me on the corner. When the cop caught me, he goes, you know, what if somebody was walking across that parking lot, which is ridiculous because it's closed, yada yada yada. And what I basically did is I played the scared bitch, and I claimed Ferguson. And that cop was just so eager to prove cops were right. He went into a little diatribe about what the cops actually did. And when I agreed with him all the way, he just gave me a warning, and I got away with it. Thank you, Ferguson. One good thing out of that. But anyway, my point my point is this.
I'm disappointed in you, Dave.
No, don't get me wrong. I understand your disappointment, but bitch, have you seen a reckless endangerment ticket?
Yeah, I got one. I got one.
Exactly.
I got one for going 105 and.
Yeah, all I'm saying is fuck that noise.
How does a white man have shitty internet? Come on. Give me a fucking break here, you know what I'm saying?
It happens. But the point I'm making is this, man. At this point, if it's not clear to you that there's a racial prejudice to this whole thing, granted, still to the core of it, it's a cop versus people thing. At the very core of this whole thing, it's a cop versus people thing. But if it's not clear to anybody that if you're a little bit of color, shit's just a little rougher for you. If that's not clear to you, there's nothing else that can be done at this point. There's no speech I'm gonna make. There's no stats I'm gonna put in front of you. It's like extreme Christians or extreme atheists. You know, you're not gonna convince an extreme atheist that there's any chance of God. Just like you're not gonna convince an extreme Christian that there's any chance of no God. They're set in their ways, and I'm just like, you're part of the problem, but I've just learned I'm just gonna deal with it.
And here's another thing I'd like to point out too is it comes across a lot of the times when people are arguing about this shit, saying there's a fucking problem, that people hate cops. Let me get this straight. I'm white. I own shit. I got an expensive ass motorcycle out in the fucking car. I got a family with little kids that pass for white. I have every reason to freaking like cops. They do nothing but benefit me. Okay? I don't hate cops at all. I mean, cops are some of the people who helped raise me when I was a fucking kid. The thing I hate is when bad cops are using good cops as a shield.
Yeah.
Like right now, you'll see all over the place, oh, people are all pissed off about this Eric Garner thing. Well, look at this cop that gave a fucking orphan an apple. Oh, is this a bad cop? No, that's a good cop, and that's who's getting fucking disgraced by this asshole out here killing some motherfucker for smoking cigarettes. And beyond what the police did there, I think there's another issue with that law that was passed specifically. Are we really not saying that it's cruel and unusual punishment to imprison somebody for selling cigarettes?
Yeah.
Yeah. Ticketable offense, I could understand, okay? He didn't pay his fucking tobacco taxes. He's not... Yeah, you know, fucking tobacco companies have to pay big-time tobacco taxes. He's not doing that. He's obviously needs to be a ticket. Imprisoning a motherfucker for selling $10 in cigarettes?
Hey, well, hold on. You have to be licensed to sell tobacco, just like you have to be licensed to sell liquor. So he's breaking a much bigger law than just avoiding the taxes on it.
Well,
so you would okay. This is one of those things where you're kind of gonna get dicey. Do you still imprison him?
Yeah. Do you think that's? Because
is that a fair and just punishment, legitimately?
Right. So if
getting caught without the liquor license.
Hold on. So if a corporate executive were to evade taxes, would you put him in jail? They do all the time.
And they don't get put in jail.
They don't get put in jail. That's the exact point.
There's plenty of people in jail for tax evasion right now.
What percentage of people who evade taxes and are caught do you think are put in jail?
Who?
Because I'll tell you, whatever
Tim
that
Allen. He's a perfect example.
My grandpa, he invaded like fucking, I think it's like $75,000 in taxes. They gave him a fucking thing that he has to pay back. They docked his pay for like 30 years. He never went to jail for that.
Now here's the funny.
There are much smaller crimes than what he committed that people are in jail for.
No. Actually, you know what? You know what, guys? We could go down the road of whether it's right, like whether the law is being broken or not. That's not the argument. The argument here is, do you think selling tobacco deserves prison time? This is kind of an important thing because this goes to the core of what it is, what justice is. Justice, I'm trying to find the right way to word it. If your kid steals a can of sardines right now, and they send your kid to jail, is that just?
Well, it's stealing.
It's breaking the law. You're telling me that the...
No. Hold on. Answer it, because I'm getting to a point with this.
Go ahead. Tell me what your point is, because I'm trying to... what I see you going is that...
It'll be... I promise you, it'll be a quick point. Once I'm done with it, you can expound. But if your kid steals a can of sardine and gets sent to jail, is that just?
It depends.
Okay, we'll come back to that. Because the fact you even said it depends makes my point. But we'll come back to that. So, if a boy in Arabia, by the way, this is one of the laws in most Arab countries, if a boy in an Arab country steals a sardine and they cut off his hand, which is the law, is that just?
No.
Okay, now expound. Now hold on. Now expound as to why when your daughter steals, her going to jail depends, but why when he steals with the can, even though it's the law, it's unjust?
Well, because you're talking that their punishment is just bizarre. Okay, check this out. If my daughter's a first-time offender, jail is excessive. If she's a repeat offender, jail is not excessive by any means. Because you are never going to fix the problem until they understand that they're going to get more than just a fine and put back on the street so they can sell some more cigarettes illegally. I mean, there's a point where enough is enough, and the punishment does fit the crime. But for cutting somebody's hand off for stealing, that's never acceptable. That's cruel and unusual. That's different. It doesn't matter what their law is.
I pulled up 5 different stores in Denver over the past 2 years that were caught selling liquor without a liquor license. Okay, one was shut down for 2 days. One's got fined, I think $5,000, stuff like that. In every case, nobody went to jail.
Okay.
A couple of these guys were caught selling alcohol to minors. Okay. What I'm saying is we're holding civilians a whole lot more accountable than we're holding businesses who do this to a much higher extent. Okay, somebody selling shit without a license, even if they do it over and over again, they're not going to go to jail. They're going to be fined. If this guy was ticketed and fined, I totally understand. But I think it's unusual, and I think if we heard another country doing it, like, hey, this guy was selling carrots without a license in North Korea, he got thrown in jail, we'd go, what the fuck? But when we do it, we're kind of like, well, shit, I mean, he did break the law. I think there should be a limit to what you can be fucking imprisoned for, and selling tobacco without a license just does, especially in a fucking small thing like per cigarette, it really seems ridiculous to me. And I think if we didn't have that law and we saw some third world country with that law, we would think that they're fucking ridiculous for that.
Now hold on, let me go a little further with that even better, right? What's the point of jailing people? The point of jailing people is punishment and rehabilitation, correct?
Bullshit. Nope.
Not rehabilitation, punishment.
Yeah,
punishment and for the safety of the public.
So I'm going to tell you something that I've personally experienced. And I'm sure you can understand where I'm coming from. People going to jail, like I've seen kids go to juvie and come back way worse than they were before they went to juvenile. Because when they went into the juvenile facility, they ran into real bad kids. Like kids that were hooked with gangs and doing drugs. And these kids now have a guy who maybe is a first offender, really doesn't know how to fend for himself in that kind of world.
Who was pretty much selling cigarettes.
Yeah. Well,
hang out with fucking drug dealers.
The guy I'm talking about, the guy I'm talking about definitely did do something. I can't remember what he did. He robbed somebody, and it was pretty bad. It was a bad thing. And but there were a couple of ways they could have handled it, and they ended up sending him to GV, which was the best possible way. So this is the system doing what it's meant to do in the scenario I'm telling you. He robbed somebody, got sent to juvenile. Now, this was his first offense. He kind of got talked into it, but none of that matters. He made a huge mistake. He's paying for his crimes. He came back in a gang, way worse than he was before, committing worse crimes. He was back in jail within like a couple of months. And this is not a new thing. If you look up the trends, what is it? Most first-time offenders that go to jail end up being repeat offenders?
Absolutely. So that's a personal choice, man. No matter what you say, that is a personal choice. You make that choice to be a repeat offender, and you can say it's a jail system. You know what? It may be, but you know what? You still made that choice.
Agreed.
Now, hold on. I'm going to say one more thing about the New York thing, and then I'm not even going to talk about the rest of it. You guys can hash it out. That guy is not a first-time offender. He was arrested 30 fucking times, maybe 38, I think is the actual number. But he's not a first-time offender, so I really don't give a fuck what the conversation's about. I really don't, because he is not an innocent person. Yes, he got wrongfully murdered. Whatever. I understand that. Yes, the cop shouldn't have got off. However, defending somebody who's a repeat offender who has been doing this over and over and over again, and you're saying the system is unjust because they wanted... No, they arrested him because he's a repeat offender. His rap sheet was fucking 4 pages long. That's it.
So let me... Wait.
Things fits on 1 page, man.
Hold on.
No, because you got to do all the booking, the rest. And actually, trust me, I was on recruiting. I actually rap sheets for 5 charges be 4 pages long.
No, you're making the point that I'm trying to make. The point I'm trying to make is you're right. That guy was a criminal. There is no argument there. The argument is this. There seems to be a bias in how the punishment is handed out based on race. This is true. You can't argue that. You can't argue that, okay, let's say what you said is right? And I can't really argue what you said. You are right. He's a repeat offender, and you are right. Am I mourning his passing? No. I think it's unfortunate just like you do, but I'll be honest with you, I'm not really mourning his passing. Here's what I will say, following your exact logic. The police officers should also be in jail because they broke the law.
Absolutely.
And
agreed.
That
they are not.
Up with the chokehold is a repeat offender. He already cost New York $30,000 for unreasonable search, unlawful arrest, and unlawful technique used while arresting somebody.
I completely agree with you.
No, hold on. So my ultimate point at the end of the day is this. Remember the video I showed you the other week?
Nope.
No, not the video, the picture, sorry. There's a video attached to it, I just didn't play the video. But the picture of the white guy who was drunk with the shotgun getting talked down by police. A fantastic picture of police at their best doing an absolutely wonderful job. You find me one of those with the minority, and my whole point is moot. That's the problem. Did you show me actually? I've been telling people that, like, I just need to see more, man. If I don't see it, it's gonna terrify me. If I don't see, and that's the problem. I don't think enough minorities are seeing the reverse of it. Maybe you guys are seeing it, and I'm not. But I don't think enough minorities are seeing the vice versa of this, where, okay, look at this white guy with a shotgun being drunk, threatening cops, not getting shot. But then look at this black guy selling cigarettes getting choked to death. Look at this kid running at a police officer getting shot. If you don't show me the counter to those things, it becomes a very terrifying landscape. It would be like me as a white guy watching only Fox News. Yeah, that world gets real scary when you're not white all of a sudden.
Hey, check it out, Dave. Most of those instances where a white guy gets that kind of treatment, it's out in the fucking boonies. It's not in the fucking city. There's no news crews that gives a fuck because it's not a true story. It's going to get anybody riled up. So it does happen. It's just not in the national media because nobody gives a fuck. Nobody throws a riot when a white dude gets shot. All right? It doesn't fucking happen. All right? Somebody throws a riot when a black dude gets shot by a white guy. How about all the black dudes who are shooting black dudes in fucking every other fucking city? That's your problem. That's where the biggest problem is at right there. You want to change. But what hold on. You want to change police departments and the way they act. You know what? Be a part of that change. You know, Cole Conscious has got the right idea. Join the police department, you know, because that is how you change things. The problem is that the pool to recruit out of is nowhere near qualified, because by the time they're 16 years old, they're already been arrested for slinging dope and fucking gangbanging. So how are you supposed to change that environment when you're not brought up to be a good person? Most of the time in the ghetto, they are not taught by their parents to do the right thing. That keeps them from being able to be recruited by the police departments, because they're literally in Missouri alone. They have recruiters specifically to recruit African Americans to the police department, and they most of the time can't find more than, I think that there's one specifically right next to Ferguson who only recruits out of black schools, and he can't get more than 5 applicants a year.
Now, here's a cross point to that, and I can't find this fucking thing. You know what's funny is I actually put that in there. Cop talks down, mentally unstable man. Bam, like 7 hits for people getting shot to shit. But another issue is, and I hate to bring it back, but that guy going around in black schools trying to recruit people, he's apparently a good fucking guy trying to go out there and help empower these kids to freaking take responsibility of their community. How many cops are out fucking trampling these kids after school? You know, these kids aren't just taught by people, hey, don't trust the cops. They see it in person, man. And you've been in some nasty neighborhoods. You can't tell me you haven't seen a cop treat fucking black people totally different than white people. I once had it face to face, man. These cops were bitching about this girl who was a victim. She was the robbery victim. Her bank wanted her to call to report it. We get a cop out there, and this cop was nothing but fucking nasty to her, man. Nothing but. She bitched her out because that girl didn't remember the day that she activated her ATM card. Do you fuckers remember? I don't. I have no goddamn idea.
Boot camp.
Bitched her out for that shit, for not fucking knowing what she did, and pretended like that. Okay, you know, you obviously weren't robbed because you don't know what the fuck you're talking about. Then walked over to me and was ridiculously polite. This shit happens a lot, man. So to say from one end, hey, this cop's being nice to you, while somebody's stomping your fucking head in on the other side, I wouldn't join that shit either. If I was that black girl right there who just got treated like shit by fucking Red Bank Police Department in Tennessee, you fucking fat bitch, I still remember you. If I was treated like shit from her, if I was treated like shit from her,
that was fucking personal.
and then I go to freaking school, and then there's this cop, hey, you should join us, sweetie. Come on. Oh, you don't want to sign? Look at this. Fucking black people don't care about their community. You really think that's fair?
Well, you know, honestly, the prominent black people in the history of black people that have actually made a difference are the people who endure that kind of treatment and actually get involved, join that movement by fitting in, and Dr. Martin Luther King's perfect example. That motherfucker, if he honestly, if he didn't, now I guarantee you, at this moment right here, be like, you know what? You all should be cops. I guarantee it. You all should go change the department. The only way to do that is to be involved.
Now, you want me to tell you the funny story
Al
about
Sharpton
that?
doesn't count because that motherfucker.
No, not even close. You want me to tell you the funny story about that? Do you want to know who the safest people were in the worst neighborhoods in Baltimore? From the cops, that is. The drug dealers. The drug dealers. They were the safest people from the cops in Baltimore because they were the only ones that had enough money to pay cops off.
Or actually get a legal defense.
Or even get a legal, yeah. The point I'm saying is this, man. I am not arguing anything you're saying, Puppet Master. The truth is, everybody is accountable for their own actions. There are a million things any of the black people we've talked about who got shot or killed or choked out could have done to avoid that fate. There were a million things that they did wrong. It's kind of like we talk about...
or even that their parents could have done to keep them out of that situation.
Yeah. It's kind of like when we talk about, in the military, when we talk about people that shoot themselves. The reason we have no mercy for a person that shoots himself. like accidentally, because it's like you had to bypass 3 capital rules for you to at least get to the point where you were even in a position to shoot yourself. So any pity or mercy from my direction will be very tough to have. It would have to be some crazy extraneous situation. But the point I'm making is this. In those communities, right, I understand they need role model, but what's happening right now is the best role model are the worst people, because the worst people are the only one that seem to have a shot of surviving through that kind of environment. The people that are good people, and don't get me wrong, there are tons of good people, white, black, Hispanic, Asian, that I saw in those neighborhoods opening community centers, doing events. They opened a zoo in the middle of the Baltimore ghetto just to kind of get them kids something else to do. There are people out there doing positive. Absolutely. Absolutely. But the easiest option for most of these kids to get out of it is the worst possible way.
That's
And
unfortunate.
I'm not saying it justifies their behavior, but I'm saying there has to come a point where people are understanding enough to go, they're in a fucked up situation. Is there more we can do? What's terrifying is when you have a blatant case of something wrong going on and people going, still his fucking fault. There's a level of lack of empathy in there that's almost inhuman. It's a little scary. You know, it really tells me, like, okay, for 90% of those fuckers, you're right. But for the maybe 1 or 2% in there that have a chance, that could actually make something out of themselves, that are disciplined enough to maybe get out of this. You're telling me if they got in a situation with a cop, you're not guaranteeing there'll be any pity out of you. Because based on what I've seen in the past, there hasn't been.
And I want to point out that Garner, there was no proof that Garner was even selling cigarettes that day. The police were called because there was a fight that Garner helped break up. Somehow getting his fat ass in between them, maybe making them too far apart to fucking actually fight each other anymore. That was his only saving act. That is why the police were there. They had no probable cause that he was actually selling cigarettes.
Yeah. They
didn't see him selling cigarettes. Nobody fucking accused him of it. They just said, you know what, we've arrested this guy before. He's got cigarettes on him, which are not the cigarettes that they accused him of selling before. He was rolling his own cigarettes and selling them. All he had on was a pack or 2 packs of Newports, if I remember right. There was no evidence he fucking did anything wrong.
That's a lot of goddamn product.
So for all we fucking know, that dude was rehabilitated. Yeah, he got in trouble 30 times from 30 years ago. How much? I've been trying to find the actual list. How much of this shit was from 30 years ago? 38 things? Was 37 of them from fucking 30 years ago?
I don't know.
You know, when I was recruiting people, and sometimes I'd get people with a list of shit, I look at it, okay, they were fucking 17, 18, they committed fucking 7 different crimes, you know? Now it's been 20 years. Am I going to hold that against him now? I mean, should I really not give this guy a job because he has a fucking record from 20 years ago? I don't know. Maybe all Gardner shit was fucking recent. I mean, I can't find this shit online for some reason. I have to look it up through New York's booking reports, I guess.
My biggest thing is I honestly believe with every fiber of my being.
By the way, we'll close on what you say, Puppet Master.
All right. I believe that everything that happens to you in your life is 50% your fault. You made a decision at some point in your life to put yourself in that position. However, there are some things that are just, even though you did everything right, are slightly beyond your control. I completely understand that. I am willing to help anyone that's willing to help themselves. Unfortunately, most of the people are not willing to help themselves, so therefore they do not get my pity, they do not get my empathy, and it will never happen.
Now here's my point that we're gonna close on today, motherfucker.
Oh, that is wow! Look at you hijacking someone's star. You see this bullshit right here? Where the fuck are the cops for this nonsense?
Here's my point. It's 2 words, okay? Elon Musk. Who he is pretty much my favorite modern CEO right now. The dude's fucking incredible. Came from
He's a good dude. He's a good dude.
less than nothing, considering he came from fucking South Africa. Okay, this dude.
Yeah, he's a good dude.
Okay, built several successful companies, made himself a multi-fucking billionaire, and is now NASA, who can't afford to take themselves in space. He's about to start taking their asses to space. How incredible! That's some shit I would dream about as a kid. NASA having to come to me for a fucking ride. Okay. In all actuality, me, Dave, Puppet Master, we all had the same amount of chances as Elon Musk, and now we're not fucking billionaires. So obviously we're complete fuckers.
That is true. Can't argue with that.
Now what that really entails is yes, people in the ghetto can join the police force. Maybe, as long as they're not fucked over in their childhood, can join the police force. But we need, as a society, to enable them to get their way out. Yeah,
they have to help themselves. They have to help themselves too. It can't be just us helping them get somewhere. They have to help too.
And it's not even about help. I don't think most people actually need any type of financial help or anything like that. Most people need guidance that they are getting the absolute worst of. In all actuality, I would be hard-pressed to think if me, Puppet Master, Dave were all black and grew up in the fucking ghetto, we would be where we're at today. Not that you're very far over there, Jay Esther. But we could be stuck there too, even with the drive that we have now. A lot of this drive we got is instilled from our parents. I know fucking Dave's mom, she's got a lot of problems, but that's one thing she's got a whole lot of, okay? My parents worked
Holy crap.
fucking nothing. I remember when I was a kid, them having to get damaged gallons of milk for us to have milk. Like, I guess you could, I don't remember what the fuck they could like buying beat up gallons of milk because that's the only shit they could afford. They were
that's
making
the haggle, baby.
They were the ones that threw the cans on the ground and said, "Oh, it's dinner."
Yeah,
I get half off.
But
I didn't want to say it, but I thought it.
They were making six figures by the time I was a teenager. I mean, they fucking dragged their way up. Okay, They fell down again. They're both working there. My dad just bought like $900 of Jack Daniels to go get signed at the fucking distillery. The dude's got money to fucking burn now, But me, Puppet Master, fucking Jay Esther here, had different parents that helped us show us this is where you need to drive to. If we're going to get these people out of, the parents are going to be the hardest part because they grew up in this fucking bullshit. That's all they know. The freaking role models they have are going to be the fucking hardest part. We need to enable them the best we can to move up. Otherwise, it's going to stay the same forever. I mean, that's it. If we just say, hey, fuck you guys, I got myself up, you could get yourself up, while that's factually true, they're never going to go anywhere, and we're going to continue this problem for the rest of our lives. So we either need to fucking do something about it, people who did have that potential, or just quit complaining about the situation.
Yeah. I mean, one of the funny jokes in hip-hop is, you better learn to ball, or you better learn to steal. One of the two. Yep. Or you better learn to slang rocks, actually. One of the three. But anyway.
See, that's their role models, though. They look up to that bullshit. And that's where fucking we're going wrong. We're going wrong with the wrong role models. And, white people are falling right into the same fucking trap, too. So, our white trash individuals are going right down the same path.
I'm not gonna lie. If you guys look up Riff Raff, you motherfuckers aren't too far behind.
No, I know.
That motherfucker's a disaster of an artist. But anyway, all right. We're done with this. We even took way longer than I wanted us to take on this.
The whole fucking show, man.
Yeah, indeed we did. But I did. It was. I figured it might happen. I only hope that if we swung at it quick enough, we might get away. But there was no way. But does anybody have anything they want to get into before? Because I have a parting shot rant that we can get into before we shut this down.
No, man. Yeah, because anything from here on out is going to be too involved. So
all right. So my parting shot rant is really simple. I am sick and tired of hearing the word natural. There is nothing, people, you buy in a store, unless it's literally fruit or vegetable, that is natural. And I'll be honest with you, sometimes that shit ain't natural either. If you're getting a tangerine the size of a grapefruit,
Something fucking happened in there, baby. It ain't natural. People come in where I work and asking me, hey, do you guys have natural probiotics? And I look at them in the face like, you mean the fucking pill we sell? That's what you're calling natural, motherfucker? Yeah, we got that for you. Let me show you where it's at. Or people telling me the following fucking words. Yeah, man, her breasts look nice, but I'm into that natural look. You mean saggy, flabby tits? Fuck yeah. So is every fucking body on planet Earth. That don't mean them fake tits aren't fucking amazing. But the word natural is just becoming out. They opened up a juice place next to our store called Nectar. You guys might know about it, you might not. I know it's really prominent in California right now. But Nectar's big thing is everything is fresh juiced. All natural fresh juice. Which I'm 100% behind. But the amount of bullshit I gotta hear out of people's minds while they're sipping this juice about how good they are to themselves is like, let me ask you a question, bitch. What is the scientific evidence? What is the scientific evidence that juicing makes you live any longer than, say, not juicing and just being athletic?
That's the same
Go ahead.
motherfucker who will step outside and smoke a cigarette or snort a rail later that night.
Oh my God. I mean, it's been long enough that my anger has dissipated, but I had the biggest rage boner over this utter nonsense. I got into an argument with somebody over this natural shit, and I was trying to explain to them, I'm like, yes, you're right. The less chemicals in your body, odds are, probably the better. But also, guess what? Most of those chemicals, scientifically made for us to have better shit. It's just one of the trade-offs of living in modern society. It's kind of like, you know how you don't get to get that natural birth? You get to get that sanitized, hospitalized, surgical inspection birth with the higher rate of birth? Same way, on the other hand, your fruit have less bugs on it because they spray nasty-ass chemicals on it. You're not going to avoid all of it, and it's probably better if you do it less. But just because you bought one glass of juice from a supposedly perfect natural place does not make you in any way, shape, or form healthier or better than any fucking body else. Aside from that fat bitch.
I got a question for you, Mr. Esther.
Shoot.
How many viewers do we got? Well,
go ahead. Shoot. What's the question?
How many viewers do we got?
Right now, we're at 0, but go ahead.
Oh, okay, I was going to say, if we had 1, we're about to lose her, okay? Because here's another thing. Here's another thing.
We had 1 and they left, and it comes and goes.
It might have been Shell.
Here's another thing I've been seeing that has been, I understand the concern, okay? But it has been taking a little bit of a turn for the ridiculous. And that's this anti-GMO fucking thing, okay?
Oh, God, you would have lost Shell right there.
Be careful what you say next, man. Be careful what you say next.
Here's what people got to understand about it is right now, and coming up close, really we probably could pull it off at the moment, us as the U.S., but the fucking GMOs are saving fucking millions of lives across the world. Okay? Shit, yeah, they fucking genetically changed it so that it could grow out there in fucking Africa in the goddamn desert and actually feed some starving kids out there. I mean, do you guys remember back in the 90s all those fucking pictures of starving African kids? I mean, the fucking vulture chasing that one little girl who was nothing but skin and bones?
To the Michael Jackson song?
God damn, yeah. Heal the world.
The reason that there's less of that shit happening, and it's almost becoming more of a problem because now there's more people, and now the population's growing, and now it's becoming another. The reason that's been lessening is because of these genetically modified foods. It's becoming a requirement for our food to be genetically modified to keep up with the amount of people we have. For regular fucking food to feed these. Now let's not even talk about this shit made in a goddamn science laboratory. Let's talk about shit we made in the 1700s where we were cross fucking breeding shit left and right to actually grow. Very few of our food that's left over is not genetically modified, either by scientific means or by old school fucking some asshole with some, pots of plants and cross-pollinating bullshit and stuff like that. Very few of the natural fucking food is left, and that's because we would be fucking dead if we had left it all the same. We would fucking have died of starvation. 7 fucking billion people are not going to be fed on that shit we had back in the fucking 1500s. We would be starving to death. I mean, that's just the thing. There's also things that, and I understand the point, and I understand them wanting the shit labeled, okay? The fact that these fucking manufacturers are fighting against the shit labeled is kind of ridiculous, and I think they should just fucking do it. So if somebody wants to avoid it, then they have the fucking ability, okay? But there's very little showing that these genetically modified food hurts us in any way. Our bodies have been using them for fucking hundreds of years now. Okay? Those fucking ones we heard, oh my god, these rats got all these fucking tumors by eating this genetically modified tube. What they didn't tell you is that those rats, the fucking species of them, would have gotten tumors anyway. That's what happens to them. If you just take that rat, feed it fucking all natural diet, it's gonna get tumors in its old age. That's what they do. That's why that fucking guy was discredited and his fucking shit was thrown out of the medical journal. I mean, I need more proof showing me how this is hurt that's not fucking pure emotion. Okay, now I do understand and I support people who are saying, I want this shit labeled. There's also that gluten-free bullshit where, only a small percentage of people need gluten-free shit, but everybody and their fucking mother wants to jump on this bandwagon now. I think I saw gluten-free electronic cigarettes once, which I doubt that they ever fucking had gluten, okay? So yeah, label the shit so people who want to avoid it can avoid it, but you need more evidence, actual evidence, to make me fear for genetic modified food, and you need to show me what food you think is not genetically modified anymore. It's almost non-existent now. Those bananas, those big yellow bananas you get out of the fucking stores, those have been genetically modified for a fucking 150 years, okay? Our oranges, they have been too. Tomatoes, they have. It's the whole fucking slew of them. So that all natural shit you see people getting fruits and vegetables, that shit ain't all that natural anymore. We changed it because if we didn't, we would fucking die. That's how this shit is working, and we're gonna have to keep doing it if we want to keep up. If this place hits 10 billion people, which I think we're supposed to by 2050 or something like that, even with what we got now is not gonna keep up. We need to change it again and go forward and forward and forward.
Well, you know where we're eventually gonna get to, right?
Did you see those lab-grown meats?
Yeah, well, that's not even what I was gonna say.
That shit
looks... we can solve this population problem. We just let our police kill the black people.
Not true, man. You white motherfuckers. I've been to West Virginia. You guys are like rabbits when you're uncontrolled. But anyway, I was gonna say, man, we're getting up to the soil and green days, baby.
Hey, and I want to grow my own food, man. Like that's a dream of mine, is to have a plot of land. God damn.
That's what we're doing.
All I was gonna say is,
Whoa! What the fuck is that on her leg?
Well, that, my friend, is just fat.
No.
No.
My friend,
that's herbs right there, man.
I think that's a whole person.
What I'm trying to say is, world's fattest woman, Charity Pierce. Man, that's an ironic name.
Didn't she kill? No. There was a world's fattest woman, a Mexican lady who was accused of killing her nephew by sitting on him or something like that.
Nah. Point I'm trying to make as a parting shot is, if you ain't find love, you're fucking up somewhere. Because this is the world's fattest lady, and look at that happy hillbilly right next to her.
Look, that's a 3-seater couch. It looks like a recliner to her.
I'm fucking blocking your fucking image right now.
Anyway, yeah, that
come here, lay on my thigh.
Doom. Just that super bass in the house.
Hey, so anyway, you'll have to have a GMO talk with Shell, because she that's her realm. That don't matter to me.
We've singled a couple times, but this never came to a head yet.
Yeah,
I should put her on the show one week, and you guys can talk about this.
I'll hammer her, man. I'll take it now.
She's got all kinds of talking points. She's ready for this.
I got a cousin, I guess, who's all now. Mind you, the guy's he's an interesting character, but he has this really cool system where it's I can't remember. It's like hydroponics, but you actually have the plants at the top layer, and then they go down into fish at the fucking middle layer. That the fish are fertilizing the plants while also exchanging fucking oxygen and CO2 with those fucking guys. So the whole system is like self-sustaining, and you could eat the plants, you could eat the fish, you could just go through the whole. That shit looks fucking amazing. I'd love to do that if I had room for it. I don't got room for it right now, but it looked pretty cool. You know, I don't mind people trying to be self-sufficient. As I was saying, I would love to own my own plot of land, raise my own cattle, have my own fucking plants growing. It's just I need more fucking proof before we say this genetic modified shit is killing everybody and giving them cancer and shit like that. Or autism. That's another great one.
Oh my God.
Autism, and they'll say, look at this tribe over here. They got an all-natural diet. None of these kids have autism. See, this is proof. And then we send some scientists there, and we find out that some of their quiet kids or weird kids or something have autism. They've just been undiagnosed the whole fucking time. Like, it's just never been proven to me that this is a fucking problem, you know?
Don't say that too quick, man. Shall Gas Company is listening. They might have you as a talking head.
Yeah, shit. We'll see, man. I'm goddamn big. Look at that guy.
All right. That pretty much wraps it up for me, unless you guys got anything else to say.
No, man. Hey, one thing I'll say is if your barber's not serving free beer, find a fucking other one, man.
I know. I can't wait to go back to Oregon. That's the only reason I'm getting my hair cut back on Friday, and only on Friday, because I get to go to my old barber from back in the day and get a beer, look at the porn mag, and have a good fucking time.
I fucking love this shit, man. I go there, you know, this guy's always busy, right? There'll usually be some old guy in the fucking chair where they're just talking shit, you know what I mean? Like, non-stop.
Sounds like that's a legit barbershop. That's how a real barbershop is supposed to be.
I go in the back, he's got this big humidifier room, I buy myself a cigar, sit down, and it was great because I was smoking a cigar while waiting, and then he calls me up and I go to put it in the ashtray, he's like, oh no, man, hits a switch on his barber's chair and he's got an ashtray in it. Oh, god damn! An ashtray and a cup holder. I'm sitting there drinking a beer, smoking a cigar while getting a nice fucking haircut and beard trim. The clip joint, okay? It's on it's in Aurora. You have to look up the fucking address.
Next time you're gonna do a plug, you better figure out the address.
For sure, bitch.
And I could hardly find my way around, man. So.
You better make sure he pays you for that too.
All right, man. We need to wrap this ish up, guys.
All right. Oh, that was my parting shot. I'm fucking down here.
Good. All right. So, ladies and gentlemen, that has been the show for this week. I've been your host, Jonathan Esther, out of California.
And there's the only one with any sense on this show, fucking Alone in the Dark.
Right.
And I have been your token white guy, the Puppet Master. Always hating.
Still thought the Knight would have been a much better name, but anyway.
Always hating. It's good.
All right, tune in next week, guys. Same bat time, same bat channel. Have a good one.